Guys, how we doing? Welcome back. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope everyone's doing okay. Shout out to all the subscribers. As always, welcome along. Anyone new, gratitude to all. Let's talk about Subriel Matias and the training footage that he uploaded, or we saw a few days ago now, but I wanted to talk about it because, you know, I've been touching on to a little bit of science on this channel, and that is science right there. That is plyometrics, right?
It is one of the most researched power development methods that will make you sprint faster, jump higher, throw further, and punch harder.
Wayo, I'm coming for you, baby. I'm here.
It's one of the most popular power development interventions for athletes.
And I'm going to talk about why that could be an important factor in the plyo fight. I'm going to bring you footage from his older fights, and I'm going to talk about the impact that this training method might have to generate more power, more explosive power, more springiness, which could help him close the distance.
What he's got, but it's Matias that continues to be the aggressor in this round out.
Which could help him, you know, get to plyo quicker. And obviously there's apparently now it's an 18-foot ring, which is terrible news for plyo because that is a really small ring for somebody when you're fighting somebody like Matias. I'm going to talk about the psychology of cutting the ring off. And I've also got a little piece of art towards the end of the video, so remix that I'm working on, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys that. So let's get into the video.
I'm Subriel Matias. Get your ticket for Ring 3, July 12th. Pay-per-view Dazan. Puerto Rico! I'm the new Wayo. I'm coming for you, baby. I'm here.
Alright, let's get straight into it, okay? What are plyometrics and what do you need to know about them, and why is this important for Matias to be doing this? And first of all, this is just one clip, so we don't know if he's intensely working on this, because actually I've said for the longest time now, his foot speed and his athleticism is vastly underrated. And I'll go back to the clip where he was fighting against Ponce, when he had that crazy clinch maneuver, right? And then Ponce went on the ground and Matias just lunged.
Not only on even terms, maybe doing a little better.
Yeah.
Matias has Ponce staggered. Ponce goes down for the second time.
It was outrageous, I thought, from an athletic standpoint. And in the Hawkins fight, yes, I know this is, what, 5 years ago now. That was probably one of his most deadliest performances, really, if you look at it from a savage.
And Matias just marching him down, hands are low.
Oh, wow, he's just coming. You know, one of the big things in this fight is the jab of Matias.
Mental perspective and just athletic performance. Just if you watch it, really, just how intense that fight was, and how intense Matias was. And then he had, you know, obviously a few tougher fights along the way. You wonder how much that's taken out of him. The Duquesne-Bayer fight was after that. Rough fight, although he came out victorious. It was a great fight. But he certainly got hurt a couple of times in that fight.
Okay, the cheetah, defense.
And Duquesne-Bayer started to come back.
Then you had the Ananyan rematch. Then you had the Ergashev fight, Ponce then Ergashev. You know, he comfortably won those fights, but he certainly took some big shots along the way. His chin stood up to it all, but you do wonder, has, you know, these fights taken, or did they take it out of him for the Paro fight? Has he got a resurgence? You know, I think he does, to be honest with you. I think I said at the time, I was like, he needs a break. You know, pressure fighters that come forward and that are aggressive, you know, and do take a lot of shots, and not to mention his whole life and his whole career and the street fighting, the gunshots, the jail, all this stuff. You know, it's one of the reasons I love him, because he's got such humility as well. You know, he seems like a very humble guy with a lot of humility, but he's just an absolute savage street fighter, an absolute gladiator, a warrior. But he's at this, I think, this point now where, you know, he probably is about to have a little resurgence, because he did have, you know, a little dip, and that Paro performance obviously was, to his standards, unacceptable. Let a lot of people down just from the way he fought, not just losing. It was how he lost. But he's here again. And, you know, big, huge fight against plyo. And let's talk about a bit more about this plyometrics and how it can help him in the fight, because the springiness, what plyometrics do, you know, it enhances the springiness in your muscles, basically, right?
If you do this fast, you will express more power because you are using elastic energy, otherwise known as the stretch shortening cycle. So we can summarize the purpose of plyometrics into 2 main points. Number 1 is to improve elastic attributes of your muscles, the stretch shortening cycle that is.
That's one of the things it does, and I'm going to bring in some clips from this channel that I've been watching. I've been watching a couple channels here and there, but he's like really goes in deep. This guy's well studied, you know, but the plyometrics is actually from like the Soviet Union created it from the 1960s.
Now the pioneer of plyometrics was the Russian Yuri Verkhoshansky. His main thesis was that when you do any jumping motion, let's say you're just gonna jump, a regular vertical jump, or you stand on a box and jump down on the ground, what happens then? Your body, it absorbs this force from the ground, okay? And this force, you wanna jump immediately upon contact so that you can utilize the stored elastic energy in your body.
And they brought it in just understanding that it had a real impact on, you know, explosive power and speed as well, athleticism too, jumping, running, sprinting. If you look at Matias's body type, he looks like he could be a sprinter or a long jumper, you know, and that's why I've noticed it. I was like, he is so fast on his feet, and when he starts cutting the distance when he really wants to. And another part of plyometrics is something called motor unit recruitment.
And number 2 is to improve your motor unit recruitment so that you can produce more powerful actions at will.
Now this is some matrix stuff. This is pretty high tech because it's basically, and I'll go back to the Hawkins fight, because when you are applying more mental pressure or more mental thought into what you're doing, that's motor unit recruitment, right? You're actually trying to recruit certain muscle fibers, right? But it has to be the intent. And doing the plyometrics can actually help generate this, right? And it can help you build up your motor unit recruitment. It's a very, very detailed, high-tech, you know, part of plyometrics. I don't fully understand it, you know, to be honest with you, but as I said, I'll bring in clips. Maybe you guys can begin to understand it as well, or maybe if you know a bit more than plyometrics, you know, leave it in the comments, because it's fascinating to me. But the point is, and the main question is he going to be able to perform at least a little bit, like, you know, in terms of athleticism, like the Hawkins fight? Like, can he introduce that type of athleticism that was in the Ponce fight from that clip that I showed you? Because that was only 2 years ago. Is he training like this to help get that burst? Because I'll get onto what he can do against Puyo and the creativity. I'm going to talk more about that next week when I'm in the gym. Hopefully with my man Cuba Morgado, we're going to be in Gleason's gym breaking down the fight from there. I'm still going to try to meet up with Johan Guzman. I've spoken to him. It's just a question of timing. I don't want to disrupt his training regime, but he's agreed to doing it. So it's just a matter of time. But that, we're going to go into more detail on the day of the fight. But this is just a training thing. So can he, I know he's 33 now, can he get to that state where he can make an impact on the entry? Because I'm going to show you this clip against Hawkins, right, where he just, you know, obviously he's chasing him down. I'll talk about cutting the ring off in a minute, because he's actually good and bad at it, right? Because he'll follow his opponents around with his hands down, or at least he did against Hawkins. And you know, cutting the ring off essentially is you want to stop your opponent, or you want to match your opponent and make the ring feel smaller by meeting them with the same angle, right? And you know, slowly make the ring feel shorter by anticipating where your opponent's going, right? But a big part of it too is the psychological pressure. If you're constantly on them, and even if he's like following Hawkins around, and you see this clip now where he shifts his feet. He actually was southpaw at the time, right?
What he's got, but it's Matias that continues to be the aggressor in this round out.
But because his footwork and his foot speed is so fast, he creates this unorthodox movement, and then he just cracks him with this backhand. And it is remarkable because that's the type of stuff that I keep talking about, that is when you're in there with him, you don't see those type of punches coming because they're very unorthodox, and they're fast, and they're powerful too, and they're heavy-handed, and they catch guys off and they don't see them, which is why they always stagger back, you know. Caught Guyage and he staggered him back because he just didn't see it. I told about where he feinted with the left and came through with that, or one of the other way around. Didn't see it. Comes in, he'll just shoot these random hooks. His cadence is off, so it cracks guys. They don't see them.
By round 5, you can't.
So all these things, but he's got to get his speed, foot speed, up to, you know, the highest level he can get it at this age, you know. I think he's training in Puerto Rico now. A lot. I think so. I don't want to, you know, put any misinformation out there, because people were commenting on the video suggesting he was there, and you know, a lot of people had issues with him training in Mexico because he was away from his family, but some people had issues with him training in Puerto Rico because he was around distractions. But he seems like he's in a good place, to be honest with you. And I said this in my last video, I was like, he looks dialed in and he looks bang up for this fight, and that is dangerous, because if he can get back anywhere near to, you know, any of those performances pre-Paro, even the Guyage performance was good, but I think he's going to have to still bring a bit more to beat Puello in terms of, just his constant pressure, athleticism, fearlessness, which he always is. But that, if you look at his face in the Hawkins fight and the Duke Empire fight, I mean, this is like a terrifying man. So can he match that with athleticism? With those plyometrics, you know, I know he's doing other, more like coordination drills as well, hitting the bag a little bit. There wasn't a lot of footage, but I just thought it'd be interesting to touch on the plyometrics, because I do think that will massively help him. I really do. I don't know whether they're doing it to do that, or whether that's just one footage and that's just what he's used to doing anyway, or whether they're like, let's do more plyometrics to get this, you know, elasticity in his calf muscles springing, so he can really create those sharp movements and fast, you know, cutting the distance faster. Because once he starts doing that and getting creative with it, and getting that motor unit recruitment going, where he summons the fibers to do what he needs to do to create those explosive moments or creative moments. I mean, it could be a rough night for Puello. I'm not going to make a prediction right now, but I will do, obviously, by next. I want to watch a little bit more Puello. I know I started watching the Sandor Martin fight, where Matias said he actually Puello got hurt in the first round, but I watched the clip a few times and it was hard to tell. I know he got mixed up in an exchange. I'll play the clip, and then I didn't watch the whole fight, so I couldn't tell you if he really, you know, shut him down after that. But Matias seems to think that he didn't throw any punches after that. I'll watch it again and talk about it in the next video. But I couldn't see a clear punch that really hurt Puello, unless, you know, he disguised it well. And Puello can probably do that. He's quite neat at doing that. He's a very good boxer because he's disciplined, and he can bang a little bit when he needs to, but he knows not to get greedy when he does that, right? Against Gary Anton Russell, he wasn't scared of him. He landed his big shots when he needed to, took a good shot as well. He's got a pretty good chin on him, and yeah, he's but the whole rematch clause too makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why would you want a rematch clause when he's not had one before? I think that's something to look at a bit closer, because, you know, that always is a bit of an eyebrow raiser. It's like, why not? Why did you suddenly want a rematch now? But look, I can't wait for this card, to be honest. I can't wait for this fight. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you guys are well. Really appreciate it, especially if you made it up to this part now. I'm going to end with the little piece of music. I'm actually remixing Hector Lavoe's Mi Gente, and I've been playing the keyboard with it. That the little piano session. That's a really amazing track. It really is. It warms my heart so much, that song, and I'm trying to recreate it as best as I can. But it's difficult. It's been difficult. But I've got a little piece. I'll play it right now. I'll leave it for you guys. and then I will see you. You know, I'll probably get the video out. I want to say July 7th. If that's the Monday fight week, I'm gonna try to get it out. Then we're gonna shoot it the week before on the Thursday, and then I'll really dress it up and try to put, you know, a big, nice piece of content ready for you guys, ready for Monday or Tuesday latest. But that's it from me. Hope you guys are well. I was gonna say have a blessed weekend because it's Friday now, but I'm probably gonna not be able to get this up till Sunday. So whatever you do, have a good one. Have a great week after there. And as always, thank you very much for tuning in. Peace. Alright guys, I'm still working on that track, so it's not quite done yet, so I didn't want to post it yet, but there's going to be like a Congo rhythm to go along. Excuse my hand, I did this in boxing yesterday. One of my clients punched my finger. Oh my god, it was excruciating. I went to hit the pads like that and he hit the top bit there. Anyway, that's why I got that. But you know, the whole rhythm, I've got some trumpets. Trying to recreate that trumpet, that Latin trumpet sound is virtually impossible. It's such a beautiful sound. It's got like this distortion on it and some sort of filter. But I'm going to try to do that. You know, the dun 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 dun, and then the piano, which is going to be, let me just play it for you. I'm going to record it in here. So it's. Yeah, I've got to practice a little bit more, but you get it. And I'm going to put that with some drums or some Congo and put some lyrics in there, you know. La 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 la. Yeah, it's such an amazing song. I mean, I love it so much, and that's a part of this channel, is to bring music. I'm getting goosebumps now. Oh, I've got goosebumps in my legs. That's how much I love music, and that's how much I love bringing this into the channel, because you know, it's just a passion of mine, talking about science as well, and talking about, you know, boxing and fighters that I love, and breaking down the science of it. And then if anyone made it this far and you're listening to me chat about music now, and respect to you, thank you. So that's coming, and you know, hopefully I'll have that by, you know, when I do the full breakdown on hopefully I'll be dropping it Monday or Tuesday. I spoke to Cuba today, or yesterday, excuse me, no, this morning, and he's in, so we're going to do that Thursday. I'll hopefully get the recording up on Monday, and I'm going to put this track, I'm going to get this track done, because doing the congas, getting that rhythm right with all the clavs and the cowbells and some shakers and stuff like that and everything, I mean, like, it's some serious rhythm there, man. That track is amazing. But yeah, anyway, peace, I'm out.